We would like to introduce PDG Rhonda Walsh-Kirby, Governor 2011-2012, and Chair of the Board of Trustees 2018 and 2019. Please welcome to the podium a member of the Board of Trustees, Lone Star Pets, the 2014-2015 District Governor from 5930, Art Zeitler.
We have some very special people here with us today. We're working very hard to train for next year. Our district governor-elects had a great day yesterday working with the president-elects. But we have some folks who are working very hard this year, and I would like for all of our existing 17-18 district governors and their spouses to please stand up and be recognized. We love you guys. We haven't forgotten you. At this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce past Rotary International Director Don Mabus, who will introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Art. Well, in a conference full of top-notch speakers, we're in for yet another treat. Our speaker today at this luncheon is past Rotary International Vice President Greg Pod. Greg is a CPA, a personal financialist specialist. He is a Texan by birth and a graduate from Texas A&M University in 1973. He had graduated with a degree in accounting and finance. He began his own practice in 1979, and he's accomplished a whole lot in his business career, as well as being a trainer and a guest lecturer at Arizona State University. His background in accounting and training has served him and Rotary well. He became a member of Rotary in 1982 and a Rotary District Governor of District 5510, and that's in Arizona, in 2003-4, followed by stints on a number of training and finance-oriented international committees. He was selected to be a member of the RI Board of Directors to serve the years of 2014 through 16, and during the 2015-16 year when Ravi Ravindan was president, Greg served as the Rotary International Vice President. And while I seem to recall meeting Greg at a district conference in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I believe it was in 2001, we really got to know each other a little better when we served on a planning committee in Corpus Christi, Texas, for an institute. And it was fascinating to work with him. He was serving as the institute treasurer, of course, as you would expect. But I remember how enthusiastic he was with the job and how engaged he was with the planning and the execution of all of the details, and especially the financial details. And right then, I knew that Greg had an excellent and significant future in Rotary, which he has. Now, Carolyn and I have continued the friendship with Greg and Pam over the years. Greg and Pam have been married for 43 years, have 3 children, Kyle, Melanie, and Brian, and 4 grandchildren. Can you believe that? You see them, you say, how can this be? Also, everyone in the family is a Paul Harris Fellow, and Greg and Pam are Arch Clump Society members. Greg has participated in many different areas of Rotary, including fundraising for the Rotary Foundation, a group study exchange leader to the Philippines, international training leader for the district governors-elect, a council on legislation representative, as well as many other positions that are listed in your program, which can be found on your application. And yes, Ian Sullivan, I know how to use it, and also in your printed program. And I want to be sure that all of you are aware that of his commitment to the Gulf Coast districts this past fall following Hurricane Harvey. He and President-elect Barry Rassin came here to this very hotel, and they had a meeting, a very constructive meeting, with the current Gulf Coast district governors. They agreed to set up a donor-advised fund, and Greg has been very instrumental in the facilitation and the assistance to the Texas Gulf Coast districts. In addition, because of Harvey, the training institute that was to have taken place in Houston couldn't happen simply because of the damage to the facilities. And he made sure that all of us who had paid our registration fees to that institute were refunded. And I was amazed at how fast the refunds came. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And then he went on to arrange for a district governor-elect and district governor nominee training in our home office in Evanston, Illinois this past December. So well done, my friend. Great job. And I also want you to know that he has an adventurous side to him. Yes, he does play golf, but I'm referring to a recent trip to Africa where he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, I note that past Rotary International Vice President Jennifer Jones also climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. And I wanted to know, is that a requirement to be a vice president of Rotary International? Anyway, Greg and I corresponded by email before and after his climb, and I asked him, don't fall off the thing, because if you do, I will be your fill-in at this speech. And a man who is true to his word, he did not fall off, and he is here with us today. And I think the idea of him thinking of not being here and me filling in for him was more scary than falling off Kilimanjaro. Anyway, we are really grateful that you're here with us today. And so I'd like for all of us to give a great big Lone Star Pets welcome to an outstanding friend right here in Texas, past Vice President Greg Pod. Greg?
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. It is certainly good to be in Dallas, Texas, down from 19,340 feet. Thank you, Don and Carolyn, once again for your kind words, and most important, for your sincere friendship over all the many years. Past Rotary International President Ron and Jetta Burton, past directors Don and Carolyn, Andy and Anita, the wonderful district governors, district governor-elects, district governor nominees, and especially the president-elects and the family of Rotary from Lone Star Pets. Thank you again for allowing the great honor of being at Lone Star Pets. One of the activities that my wife and I like to do outside of Rotary is to see a good movie. One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie that you may like a lot. It's called City Slickers, starring Billy Crystal. I especially like the scene where Mitch is riding along with Curly, and the conversation goes something like this.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
One of the other scenes that I really like is when Phil goes into a tent after confronting a bunch of drunkard cowboys. While in the tent, he breaks down crying, saying that he's almost 40 years old. God, that's old. And his life is a waste. Mitch reminds him of the time when they were children and when they were playing baseball. And if a ball ever got stuck in the tree, they would call a do-over. Mitch tells Phil that his life is a clean slate and that he can have a do-over. If I could do one thing in Rotary, as Curly says, only one thing, I wish I could have a do-over and be the president of my Rotary Club once again. This is not hard being a past Rotary International director. But it's not the 17 directors of Rotary International or the 536 district governors of Rotary. And sorry, Ron, even the president of Rotary who do the work of Rotary. It is the individual clubs with its members, all led by you. Kind of scary. But it is in your club where the true work of Rotary gets done. It is your performance that will change lives and save lives. No pressure, but a lot rests on your shoulders when you've been asked to be the inspiration next year. If I had a do-over, the first effort that I would have is I would have better friendship and fellowship in my club. Something interesting, back in 2013, Rotary International hired a brand consultant named Siegel and Gale. After unprecedented research, our consulting firm gained tremendous insight from the survey responses, from surveying over 20,000 Rotarians, prospects, Rotaractors in 167 countries. More than 160 interviews were conducted, 20 club visits, and participations in 5 international conventions and institutes. Siegel and Gale discovered something very, very interesting. They discovered that 30% of all of the individuals surveyed said they joined Rotary because of friendship and fellowship. 38% of existing Rotarians surveyed said they would stay in Rotary because of the friendship and fellowship. I wish I would have known that when I was the president of my Rotary Club. I'd like to share with you a Rotary Club that I know that wanted to improve in this particular area. So they began to have quarterly socials with their members and, more important, their guests. They had potluck dinners. Being from Colorado, I have to be very careful how I use the word pot. Some of you actually got that joke, which is really sad. The dinner parties had many different creative themes. One of the themes was the 60s. My wife and I went to the party as Sonny and Cher. A lot of you don't know this, but due to the fact that I am taller than my wife Pam, I went as Cher. I don't mean to tell you this, but it was not a good night. Singing "I Got You, Babe" didn't work either. We also had cowboy themes, hippie themes, you name it. We also had outdoor activities like night golf. Now that was dangerous. Indoor activities like rock and roll bowling, simple beer drinking. They called it Rotary on Tap. After the club visiting process of this particular club, they are now known as a drinking club with a community service problem. Most of the activities of this particular club are planned and organized by, yes, their younger members. You may be amazed at the difference in fellowship and friendship that is made in this club. They now greet each other every meeting. They socialize outside of Rotary. And they discovered that they actually like each other. And they enjoy spending time with each other, and they sincerely have developed true new friends. The second effort that I would have done is I would have looked at having great speakers. Having interesting and relevant speakers adds value to our Rotary experience, not just having a meal together. Just having a meal together is not going to keep individuals in Rotary, especially with all the Rotary chicken that we eat. The speaker and the subject matter should stimulate discussion and make an everlasting impact on the audience. I remember a speaker that I heard many years ago at a small Rotary club. In fact, it was over 26 years ago that I heard this speaker, and I still remember it today. We were not told what the topic of the presentation was. We were just told the name of the speaker. The speaker that day was a physician who brought with him two couples. One of the couples had their 12-year-old daughter with them. The doctor made it very clear that the couples had never met each other. And then he proceeded to tell the story that went something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like for all of you to meet couple number one, who about 10 years ago lost their daughter to a tragic car accident. The doctor then introduced couple number two and their 12-year-old daughter, a very pretty girl who a year ago was the recipient of a heart transplant. The doctor then informed the couple number one that the heart of their little girl was beating in the chest of couple number two's 12-year-old daughter. Couple number one had always wanted their daughter to be remembered and to make a difference. They believed in organ donors, and so they gave the gift of life to this beautiful little girl that was sitting in front of us that particular day. I wish I had the words to describe the moment in time. There was not a dry eye in that Rotary Club. A speaker that I will never forget. As I said, I heard that presentation over 26 years ago, and I'm still remembered today, and it still makes an impact on me. In one simple presentation, there was complete sadness and complete joy. The doctor then spoke on the benefits of organ donation. That meeting that day ran 30 minutes over their regular meeting time, and no one left early. The speaker that day made a profound impact and created a very much stimulated discussion and made a difference in our lives. Finding great speakers takes time. Rotary clubs with successful speakers, they spread that task out to several Rotarians during the year, especially, again, younger Rotarians. An example would be to have 4 Rotarians on a speaker committee, each with the task of finding club speakers for a 3-month period. The third effort that I would like to come up is having meaningful community projects. Once again, I refer to the extensive study performed by the brand consulting firm of Siegel and Gale. They made a very important observation, and that the number one reason why individuals join Rotary and stay in Rotary is positively impacting their local community. Over 35% of the individuals said they joined Rotary because of the impact on local communities. 36% said that the existing Rotarians said they would stay in Rotary because positively impacting their community. I'm reminded of an outstanding project in District 5450. It's called the Golden Backpack Program, which was started 10 years ago in Golden, Colorado. The project was featured at the International Convention in Atlanta and in the Rotarian magazine just recently. It's a program that is very simple. It provides desperately needed food to children who are simply hungry. Many of these children are Tier 1 schools. The program was started under the leadership of past Rotary Club President Peggy Halderman. Peggy told me recently that her Rotary Club of 60 members have served over 500,000 meals to children. The program is not only a Rotary project, it's a community project with over 515 non-Rotarian volunteers and assisting with over $500,000 in contributions. As a result of this program, other Rotary clubs have adopted the program, not only in their state, but in states around the United States. This local project truly fulfills the needs of the most important reason for being in Rotary, and that is to positively impact our local community. The fourth effort would be to have more fun and Rotarians engaged. Individuals who have the spirit of Rotary and the desire to make a difference. Past President Ron Burton would say, engage Rotary and change lives. Just last month, Pam and I had the true honor of speaking at the Scottsdale Sunrise Rotary Club. It's your typical Rotary club like yours, like mine. The club has 32 members, 18 male, 14 female, with great fellowship and a great balance of international and local community service. And they have a lot of fun with each other. After our presentation, club members began their weekly routine of giving their happy bucks. They deposit their dollars into a white porcelain bedpan. Go figure, I didn't ask. But they have a great deal of fun with it. Placing dollars in a bedpan is now not how I would encourage Rotarians or guests to give money to the Rotary or our Rotary Foundation, but it worked for this club. No telling what's been in that bedpan. They were happy because they had just completed their annual community project called Special Day for Special Kids. It's a very simple project where they take over a local train park in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they provide free food, free beverages, free train rides, free carousel rides, 40 games for over 3,500 special need children and their family members. Last Saturday was their 33rd year of hosting this event. And everyone in that club, and I mean everyone, was there. I was the head chef for cooking 3,500 hot dogs. I still don't like hot dogs. As I left the meeting that day in the parking lot, I became overwhelmed with emotion when I did a little bit of math. This one typical Rotary Club with 32 members over the past 33 years has provided a special day for over 115,000 special kids with special needs and their family members. What a selfless act of kindness and service on the part of these Rotarians. I sometimes think we all take for granted who we are, what we are, and all the good that we do in this world. Rotary clubs with projects like this make me wonder why everyone would not want to be a Rotarian and be a part of this incredible humanitarian service organization. The fifth and final effort would be to help all Rotarians in my club appreciate the family of Rotary, truly understanding what it means to wear this Rotary pin. We all truly underestimate the power of this small little emblem that we all hopefully wear. Our family of Rotary allows us to do extraordinary acts of kindness through our incredible network of Rotarians around the world. I'd like to share one more story with you. One of the many things that I like to do outside of Rotary is to play a game of golf. After church on Sunday with Pam, I try to play a round of golf with some friends of mine that I would like for you all to meet. They are brothers, John and Joe Gilbert. One is a lawyer and the other is a CPA, a very dangerous combination, especially on the golf course. Joe is not the best golfer in the world, but we need him because he books all of our tee times using his credit card. About a year ago, we were playing in a little small tournament that was organized by Joe. Knowing that I was a Rotarian, Joe introduced me to one of the other Rotarians in the other foursome. His name was Mike Ryan, and he was from the Park Ridge Rotary Club in Chicago, Illinois. Mike and I, like all Rotarians, started describing our Rotary Club and bragging about our various projects in the district. Mike said that one of his club projects was building homes with Habitat for Humanity in Haiti. During the conversation, Mike introduced me to a retired non-Rotarian doctor called Dr. Dennis Gates, who travels with this Rotary Club every year to help in every way he can. Dr. Gates began to talk about a little boy named Benjamin. Even though I have never met Benjamin, I would like for all of you to meet him with Dr. Gates and his mom. Dr. Gates said that Benjamin was 7 years old. He had blue lips, blue fingernails, gasping for breath. In fact, Benjamin was going to die very soon. Dr. Gates had been working for over 2 years to get the assistance for Benjamin, with no luck at all. I responded to Dr. Gates that Benjamin has a congenital heart defect. Dr. Gates asked if I was a doctor. I said, no, I'm a CPA. Well, how would you know about Benjamin's illness? I told him that I had the honor and the privilege of serving on the board of an organization that Jennifer mentioned this morning called the Gift of Life. It's an organization that's a Rotary project that was started back in 1974 by a Rotarian in the Manhasset, New York Rotary Club, a man named Tony Zeno. He said, and I quote, "Rotary does hearts?" I said, yes, Dr. Gates, Rotary does hearts. In fact, we impact hearts all around the world. I asked Dr. Gates to do me a favor. Would he please send me Benjamin's medical records and his echocardiogram, which he did. He was impressed that a CPA would know how to say echocardiogram. I sent Benjamin's records to 8 chapters of the Gift of Life program that I am familiar with. The following day, a past district governor I've known for years, named Robbie Donato of New York Gift of Life program, immediately wrote me back and informed me that their chapter was currently down in Haiti, and that this was the last week of performing open heart surgeries on the children in Haiti. Robbie asked me, is there any way I could get Benjamin to the clinic to be evaluated as soon as possible? I called Dr. Gates back and I asked him if he could find Benjamin and have his family meet them at the visit at the clinic in Port-au-Prince. He said, and I quote, "Greg, you are nuts. I've been told that before. Things don't move very fast in Haiti. Benjamin is in a village of Lagan, 8 hours away, with travel on heavily potted dirt roads." That week, I happened to be sitting in an investment committee next to a past RI director who lives in the Bahamas. Yes, that past RI director is our RI president-elect, Barry Rassin. One of the areas that Barry serves was Haiti. So Barry made some phone calls to his friends. 2 days later, the father is located by Rotarians. And yes, they will bring Benjamin, his mom, and his dad to the clinic, but they have no transportation. So more Rotarians in Haiti are contacted. They find a car, but they have no gas. Gas in Haiti is sold in Coke bottles. More Rotarians are contacted. A Rotarian has some gas. They put the gas into the car, but the car doesn't start. More Rotarians are contacted. They have a motorcycle. So they take the gas out of the car and put it into the motorcycle. And lo and behold, it runs. So the family is on their way to the clinic. 3 adults, 1 child with a heart defect on 1 motorcycle in the middle of the night. Those of you that are parents, can you simply pause for just a moment and think of the fear and the hope of these parents, and even Benjamin holding on to the back? Somehow, after driving all night, they arrive at the clinic at 8 a.m. Benjamin is evaluated, and the following day at 7 a.m., he receives his free open heart surgery, the last spot on the schedule. I played golf just last week with Dr. Gates, who's now a Rotarian. And Benjamin's doing great. He's running and playing like all the other kids, and he's grown a foot. All of this took place in less than 2 weeks. Why? Because of the family of Rotary. Because of this simple Rotary pin and the family of Rotary that we all belong to, it allowed ordinary people like myself, Robbie, Mike, Dr. Gates, and Barry to do an extraordinary thing. Is it easy to have a great Rotary Club next year? No. Leading a Rotary Club sometimes is like pushing a rope, and you will have your challenges and, most important, your opportunities. But you will know when you have it right. My fellow Rotarians, I will not sugarcoat this statement. Rotary's membership in North America is probably your biggest opportunity. As of June 30th of 2017, in the last 10 years, in North America, we have lost over 58,000 net Rotarians. 50% of our Rotarians are leaving in the first 3 years. That should concern you. And only 4.6% of our Rotarians are under the age of 40. That's what I would call opportunity. My fellow Rotarians, Rotary in North America is truly at a crossroads, a time when exceptional leadership is needed. Great leaders with vision who are willing to think differently and willing to challenge the status quo. Leaders like Steve Jobs. See if you all remember this famous video. The quality of it is intentional.
Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Rotarians, our founder, Paul Harris, knew that we would go through these times when he said, if Rotary is to realize its proper destiny, it must be evolutionary at times and revolutionary on occasions. President-elects, make it an honor to serve Rotary as your Rotary Club president for next year. It is truly the best position in Rotary, and you will not do it alone. You will have over 35,000 classmates in over 200 countries around the world who will work with you in serving others. Give it your best. Be the inspiration. And at the end of the next Rotary year, you don't have to wish that you had a do-over. I want to sincerely thank the Lone Star Pets Committee for the great honor and privilege of being with you this weekend. My wife and I wish you the very best next year. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And God bless you all for the work that you do for Rotary. Thank you very much.
Greg, thank you very much, not only for providing a checklist for a successful club president, but also to remind us that we are not members of an ordinary organization, and we are a member of an extraordinary organization with extraordinary people. We do have an appreciation for you coming. We don't have any hiking gear for you. You've already done that.
Thank goodness.
But we do have a plate for you from Lone Star Pets, which I would like to show. And I do know something about this because I've commissioned with the artist. Bill Wilhelmy did receive some of his education in California, but he's a Corpus Christi artist, and he is well known. Matter of fact, he has some ceramic boots that are in the National Art Collection at the Smithsonian. And so, and when I had this commission, I had interesting discussion. They're all same theme, but each one is done separately, so I know each one is slightly different. I did have an interesting discussion with him trying to explain what a Lone Star Pet was. That was, that was kind of interesting. But we're delighted to have you here, and we hope that you'll come back and continue to enrich us with your experiences and all that you had to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you again, Art.
All right. I'd like to make a few announcements, but first I would like to request that the discussion leaders go ahead and leave so that you'll have time to get out and get ahead of everybody into your rooms. We have the evaluations. Need to remind you to do them. They are very important to us. We do look at them. Not only in regard to the curriculum, but your feelings concerning the facilitators. They're looked at in great, it's not just a paperwork exercise. It's very important to this organization to offer the best possible training every year and to meet the needs of the districts and the clubs. So please do that, and we will utilize that information. Personal announcement here, Dwayne Castleberry, you purchased something from Jerry White Pins, and you need to return and pick them up. So please do that if you have not already. Okay, tonight, big deal. It's starting at 6 o'clock, the district photos right outside the Hall of Friendship. I believe you'll see your district number sign to group up for the pictures. So that starts at 6, and dinner will be at 7. So we do the pictures bam, bam, real quick, so everybody needs to be on time to do the pictures. So appreciate, and I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Let's get back to learn some more about Rotary.